Greetings, dear ones. So this is again just today's morning's reminder was the same. I was just reminded right now. I'm taking a stroll here on the Prithvi Tattva. No one around me, and the message is to stay grounded on the Prithvi. Grounded in the sense, be very normal. Be very normal and grounded, because it's very important, because right now I can sense so much of bombardment going on everywhere, all kind of activity, hyperactivity in the spiritual world, in the worldly world. There's so much of activity going on, it's too much, and I think it is coming out because of there is a lot of excitement, kind of excitement that's happening in the even in the spiritual arena. Maybe it's the rise of energies, or the excitement of the people, the collective consciousness, and it is also mixed with a lot of upheavals, maybe stress of people, or panic and anxiety, or fear of people, that is all floating around. So it's like a mix, kind of a khichdi that's going on. So it's quite obvious to be bombarded by all these kind of energies and all kind of thought patterns floating all around you, all kind of things here. So at the same time, all kind of gyan is floating around, all kind of activities are floating around, everything, it's been just bombarding. So how to stay calm and how to stay neutral is, because this the way of the awareness is to, again, the middle path. And middle path means automatically it's grounded. So there's nothing to go, nothing to do absolutely. So when all these things are happening, some people write to me, what's happening and why this is happening, why that's happening. Some people are telling, I am literally having to tear my hair out, and I don't know, should I leave this job, or I should leave this relationship, or should I run away, or things are going so hectic. It's all happening. It's not happening today, or it's been happening for years now, for quite some time now. But maybe you are noticing it now, or maybe you are becoming a little sensitive to these kind of energies. So the way that I always suggest is stay grounded, because if you stay grounded, there's nothing to really worry about. You are just neutral, and you don't pick up on all these things coming out and floating out from here and there, nor do you get carried away with fear, nor do you get carried away with greed. These are two things I always keep far away from. So if somebody is trying to come and tell me, hey, if you don't do this, this will happen to you, or that will happen, something is going to happen to us, or if they say, no, if you do this, this will benefit all of us, it will benefit you to a great deal, this, that, you will gain this, gain that. So this is greed and fear, motivation by greed and fear. So it might be good for inspiration, but I don't think it runs in the long run. I've experimented with all these things in my whole lifetime of spiritual practices, and it doesn't run for long. It's good just for the moment. What runs for long is you. You are going to be there always. You are never going to conk off. Your body will conk off, but you are going to be there. So what exists always is you. You are going to be here. It only matters if you are in your real self, or if you are drifted out into your mind or ego self. So if you are in your ego and mind self, then these things affect. So if you are in the mind, if you are a person of the mind, too much of thinking and too much of you live in your mind, it's very easy to get carried away by anything. Anybody can put fear in you, put guilt in you. Anybody can put greed in you. Any kind of things into you. And depending on your state of mind and depending on your tendencies, the vasanas that you carry, which is dominating in your life. For example, if you are a very scared person, if you are always fearful, then how much time does it take for anyone to make you scared? So it all depends on the state of your mind. What is the content? What are the contents of your mind? So contents might be anything. Now I'm not dealing with how to deal with the contents of the mind, because there is enough taught to us in the world how to deal with the mind. What I'm saying is, leave the mind alone. Don't deal with it. That's all the enlightened beings who have been aware, who have walked this planet in awareness, were always neutral. And they never dealt with the mind. They just let the mind be as it is. So when I'm talking about contents, is there in the mind, let it be there. If you don't touch it, it's there. You are not bothered by it. You're not affected by it. You're not overwhelmed by it. You're not worried about it, the contents. At the same time, if something comes from outside and tries to stir the content, the stirring can only have an effect if you are again in the mind. If you're a mind person again, if you live in your mind, you will accept those things coming from outside, and then your mind only will sit thinking, analyzing, and trying to find logic answers to all those things. And it's never ending process. One after the other, you get caught up in that. So the best thing is leave the mind alone. Stay in awareness. Shift into awareness as much as possible. There are very simple ways that I have shown. Of course, I'll be again highlighting as and when possible how to do it. Very, very simple methods. So you can utilize it in any aspect of your life, any religion that you're following. You don't have to change your religion, nothing. Whichever religion. Put some awareness into it, make it conscious. Even religions most of the times have failed, or sometimes are going down, or sometimes things are not happening the way it should happen. It's all because of the lack of consciousness. If awareness seeps into it, into this dry philosophies of religion, or the dry teachings of religion, it will become very moist. It will become fresh. It will become alive. That is when religion also, or anything, even your path, any path that you are following, add awareness to it. Any path, any methods you do, any sadhana you do, any tapas you do, any kind of activity, techniques you follow, add awareness to it. Make those things very conscious. So when you make it conscious and then live it, there's a different rasa. There's a different flavor to it. Things change. So the same things that you have been doing before might have been monotonous, robotic, or dry. Now it will become very tasty. It will become very rich. So the path of awareness is very important. The path of awareness doesn't mean it's a separate another path, because that's the big problem. Big problem. Any concept we come across, anybody introduces any kind of one concept, then that becomes a different kind of a cult. That should be very careful. We don't get into that. So that is why I hesitate calling this even path, because this is not a path, and this is, nobody is inventing it. Awareness is you. It's always been there. So we are only giving it different names and ideologies. That's all that we are doing here. So like Osho said, somebody asked Osho, you are firing everybody left and right, you are firing the saints, you are firing mystics, you are firing gurus, you are firing the priests, you are firing the pundits, you are firing the politicians. Whom are you spared? You are firing the philosopher, the intellectuals, everybody, the cult makers, the community makers, the religion makers, the peace makers, everything. This is, where is the end? And you are trying to dissolve everything here. Why do you not see that what you are doing also can become a cult? What if it becomes a cult? And Osho said, yes, this danger is always there, and I know this danger is there because people are crazy. They will simply make something out of something. That is what happened with Buddha, Jesus. All these people came to bring out some essence, and it got converted into something. So we should be very careful that when we read a concept, understand a philosophy, or know a theory from here, or take some new concept from anywhere, we should not patent it in a different way. All these aspects are coming from life itself. So it belongs here. Life consists of all these things together. So let's not segregate them and make it all different. So when I talk about awareness, and if I say the path of awareness means one is the awareness itself can largely change the quality of whatever you're doing, but whenever you add awareness or bring awareness into it. So that is what I mean by the path. And it's a path in itself if only the awareness is followed. If it is not used anywhere, like I'm saying a technique, I'm becoming aware of the technique and being more conscious of the technique. That is one way to induce or bring in the awareness in it. The other way is let everything alone and just be aware, because you are awareness. So you are going back to the source again. So that path actually, and whenever you do any kind of stuff, any kind, wherever you bring consciousness, wherever you make it Jagrit or alive, eventually you will see that after a certain period of time, everything starts dropping off. All the grossness, all the gross methods, techniques and things, they start eventually just dropping off. You don't have to do anything. It automatically happens. I've seen this happening in many others' lives. I've seen it in my own life also. It's not a doing. It keeps on shedding off itself. Then what remains is awareness itself. Like Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, let what comes come, let it come. Let what goes, let it go. You just be the witness. Let whatever comes, comes. Whatever goes, goes. Let it go. Let it come. Let it keep coming and going, coming and going. But in this process, in the end, see what remains. What will remain? When you just stay centered in your own being, what will remain is the being. The presence that you are. You will remain. The presence will remain. So that presence is the whole thing about. All these things are being done to reach back to that presence, so that you become aware of yourself as a presence. We are aware of ourselves as the mind, the intellect, the body, the emotions, the what all, the identities, the personalities. We become aware of it in that manner. That's our presence. We feel our presence. Make your presence felt, they say. How do you make your presence felt? By doing something. So if I'm a singer, I go and make my presence felt by singing a couple of songs. If I'm an actor, I go and render a couple of dialogues and then I make my presence felt. So whoever I am, I make my presence felt. That's not the presence. The actual, the real presence that you are is pure awareness. So you are that pure awareness. The soul, what we call, is nothing but pure awareness. The quality of the soul, if you ask, what is the quality of the soul? It's pure awareness. It's just aware. It's just there, the being. It is just aware. The presence is there. So we are actually trying to go back to that presence and realize I am that presence. And when you realize I am that presence, it is not anything different than realizing the self. Because self and presence is the same. So you are that presence. Let me tell you one tip. If you want, you can catch this, because if you want to live 24/7 in kind of awareness and all that, practice this kind of, I practice these kind of things. Look at yourself as awareness. If you can't understand what I'm saying. Feel yourself as awareness. If you still can't, feel yourself as a presence. You can do that. You are a presence. See, if you are right now here, okay, you are right now here. Just become aware of yourself. Where are you in this body? You will not be able to find. Where are you? You are there everywhere, but you can't pinpoint. You are present in the body. So now just become aware of that presence. Just become aware. Right now do it. You as a being, right now, you know, philosophically, intellectually, you know, you are not the body, you are not the mind, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, when you are not, then who are you? You are this presence that is present everywhere. Just become aware of that presence. The body that you are. You are there in every cell, you are there in every organ. You can sense your presence in your feet, in your toes, on your head. Everywhere you are present in this body. So right now this presence is limited because it is bound by the ego and intellect and the mind. So it has its own limitation. It can't expand further. When you start expanding this presence of yours outside into your subtle bodies and keep on expanding it into this tattvas, like if you expand it into this ether, how long, how much time will it take? Fractions of seconds to just boom, blast into this universe. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can have astounding results in it. So that's what we do in the retreats. That's what we do in these personal consultations. That's what we do in this small online Zoom activities that we are doing. I'm sure that you have signed up for these events and all. If not, please keep signed up, because these I am not doing very publicly. These kind of activities where I'm trying to teach and share whatever is my life experience. I'm not reading it from books. Whatever happens to me, whatever I practice, whatever I get from inside, all these meditations you'll see, you'll not find it anywhere. Everything is coming on its own from within. Whenever I practice in places like Arunachal, and I do it on myself, and when I see beautiful results, I share it with the world. So you'll see that experience. That's why even in retreats and things, these things are happening. Now in the current recent retreats we had, people are inviting me now to different places from there, because all belong from different areas. They come from different places who are there, and once they had the taste of it, they know there is something more. So yeah, there more can be unbound, but you need that readiness. So we are having these kind of satsangs and very close circuit in our homes, in different places, different locations throughout Maharashtra and Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, these places, where people are finding them, come home, let's do it with a couple of people, like 15, 20 people are there. And fantastic, we can do that. So if you are interested, you can just sign up for these events, and whenever anything local is there around your area, I will send you those updates. And yes, keep this in mind, your presence. Keep practicing this, or just be aware of you as a presence as much as possible. And as you go deeper and deeper, you'll understand. But stay grounded. Don't get too carried away with the things that's happening in the mind, because you are not the mind. If you stay in the awareness, you as a presence, you're not affected much by the mind. Then it doesn't matter what is floating around. So it's getting late. I'll catch up with you soon. Much divine love and light to all of you. May we all evolve. May we all be blessed. May we all attain freedom. Divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.